So I'm Ben Love, and I'm the brewmaster at Gigantic Brewing Company. Yeah, so I was the head brewer at Hopworks before starting this. And before that, I had worked for Pelican for 3 years down on the coast. It's my first real brewing job. And Van and I got to know each other through the Oregon Brewers Guild, basically, and through events. So he was working at Rock Bottom, and he was the head brewer down there and one of the regional brewmasters. He oversaw some other breweries. And yeah, we would just hang out. Basically, I would get together with him to listen to him rant about different things at festivals, just to chat. And then we were also on the board of the Oregon Brewers Guild, so knew each other through that. Gigantic came about. I had always wanted to have my own business since I was a kid, basically, not really knowing what it was. Didn't get into brewing until, I was like 24. And Van wasn't so much interested in that, but we had talked about I guess somebody had approached him to start a brewery. I knew about that. I'd approached him to let me basically lease time in their brewery, and that whole thing fell apart. And then a few months later, Van got fired from Rock Bottom. But it was good because as a result, I said, maybe we should do a brewery together. And he's like, that sounds like a fantastic idea. So that's how we came together. Yeah. So Gigantic Brewing, the name came out of the fact that we intend to stay small. We never plan to produce more than 4,000 barrels a year. Van and I have both been brewing I've been brewing for 10 years. He's been brewing for, I think, 18 at this point. So we have a lot of experience. We've been around the block and we know what's going on. And we knew that we both enjoyed brewing beer. And so we wanted to have a brewery where we could continue to do that for as long as the brewery was around. You know, as you grow and grow and grow, you get taken out of the brewery. You aren't able to do that anymore. You have to manage things. And so that's one piece. And then also the other is, I mean, it's not totally about us from that end. It's also that when you're growing and growing and growing, you're continually investing money in more equipment, more kegs, new lines, new fermenters, more people, all sorts of things. And so the point at which you actually start bringing in a profit that you can actually take home, that you can put in your pocket, or that your investors can put in their pocket, it can take quite a long time. As far as our tap room, it's very small. Well, there's two things that go into that. One is that we were never sure exactly how busy a tap room would be. They're kind of new in a way, you know. I mean, people have been obviously having brew pubs for quite a long time, but having something where you have a production brewery in a small area to drink beer is kind of a new concept. Maybe in the past 4 years have people really been doing it, and it's really only picked up steam in the past like couple of years. Anyways, when we opened up the tap room, we had no idea how busy it was going to be. Our business plan was completely focused on our wholesale operation. Tap room was kind of an afterthought. And so we decided to have it small, also because of our because it's a light industrial building. Then unless we wanted to trigger SDCs and other charges from the city, we had to keep our tap room, our entire like kind of inhabited area, less than 10% of our building. So the tap room has been much more successful than we ever thought it would be, and it's a much larger part of our revenue stream than we ever thought it would be. We're still, you know, the majority of our beer still goes out wholesale, either in bottles or draft, mostly in bottles. But it's definitely nice to have the tap room as a somewhat steady revenue source where obviously we make the most money that we can make. So most of our beer goes into 22-ounce bottles. We make more money off of that than we do off of draft. We do sell, our split's basically 60% bottles to 40% draft. Our goal originally was 70-30, but with the sales in the tap room, then we were able to not have it be that exact 70-30. And it's not the same in every market too. So, and all of our bottles, each of the labels is done by a different artist. We're really lucky in that I had the idea of doing these different art labels, and one of Van's oldest friends, who's one of our investors, is Rob Rieger, who did this label. And Rob's an artist. He lives down in Berkeley. He has a comic book called Emily the Strange, a character, which is in a comic book and a number of other things. And anyways, he does that and then his art. And he's very tied into the California art community, West Coast. And so with Rob's help, you know, he helped lay out the entire label. The only beer that we do year-round right now is Gigantic IPA. Everything else we do is seasonal and limited release. And so we'll do the beers for 3 months, and then we never do them again. So that's why they're all numbered. We have every 3 months we release 2 beers. One is at a $4.99 retail price point. The other one is $7.99, and usually that corresponds to the higher price corresponds to more hops, more alcohol, complexity of beer, you know, stuff like that. So, and the reason why we decided to do that, to always change the beers, is part of it's to keep us from getting bored. Because, I mean, as brewers, we've both worked at breweries where you produce the same 6 beers year round, and then you have your kind of spring, you know, spring, summer, winter, fall, winter seasonals that are always the same. I will say that it is good for business to do that, but it's not very interesting. And the beer industry has gotten to a point, I think, where we're able to do this because there's a lot of people, a lot of customers out there that are always looking for something unique. And most of the time when they go and buy beer, they are looking to try something new and not to drink the same thing that they always have. I think every brewery has its niche, you know. At Hopworks it was bicycles and organic, you know, and I think it's important to have something like that, some group that you something that you tie into that you're excited about, that's not just your business, you know, not just beer. You know, Van likes to say that that if you're only making beer, you're not doing it right. If you're only marketing to the brewing crowd, you're not doing it right. There's so much beyond that, and it's opened us up to be able to do some really cool things. We just started selling beer in California, and we're headed down to San Diego next week to do our launch event, but it's tied in with Comic-Con. I hope that people will think that just basically good beer, that no matter what they buy from us, because we're always changing, that when they open it up, that it's going to be something really good and interesting, you know, and something that's executed very well. I will say that I've seen a number of reviews where people will say, I didn't personally care for this beer, but it was really well made. And they're basically like, I didn't care for the style, you know, the beer style. And so I feel like we've won when people say stuff like that. You know, if when they don't like it, it's because they don't like the beer style, not because they don't like the beer, you know. And that's how I think most people should talk about it anyways, because it's pretty rare that you actually have something that's actually bad.